Hello and welcome to an album a day, day 158, going through my vinyl collection, album at a time. Today I'm talking about the last one I have in this collection. This came out in 1989, and this is of course a 1989 copy because they only issued these once. This copy comes from Spain and it is from Private Music. Some music is private. I was really excited when I found this album because until I was collecting vinyl again, I had no idea it even existed. But it does. And this is the third and final sampler that was released on vinyl from Private Music. And there are a full-in Private Music label here. Still love that color scheme. I think it's because of what it reminds me of, like my association with that original cassette tape that I had, their first sampler, and the amazing journey that brought me on. Thank you again, Cheryl from Hewlett Packard, who gave me that cassette for our Christmas gift exchange in 1980. I guess that would have been 89. Wow, 1989, a long time ago. Anyway, so I'm not as familiar with this one because I haven't had much of a chance to listen to it yet. I have listened a couple times, liked everything on it, so I can start with that premise. I just can't go into detail in a lot of the songs because I'm not that familiar, but there are some that I definitely know. We open with, oh, you know what? I don't think there's anything... I think it's just a generic sleeve, but then I always say that and find out it's not, and it's not. There you go. See, you know, okay, I'm distracted today because I saw a newsreel where there was some convention for new shows that are being pitched or coming out or something, and the showrunners and actors from Cobra Kai were there. And someone talked to them about a possible spinoff, and they kind of gave the indication that there may be a spinoff show coming from Cobra Kai. That would be cool, depending. But I think, like, to me, that's the version of a mini cupcake, right? Because a mini cupcake is a spinoff of a cupcake, which is a spinoff of cake. So then you have a Cobra Kai spinoff, which is a spinoff of Cobra Kai, which is a spinoff of Karate Kid. So I don't know, we'll see. Sometimes these things can go too far and the writing starts to suffer from it. I have to say the writing on Cobra Kai was spectacular. I've done podcasts on it. Go check them out on the Haskincast podcast. But here's what we get here. Obviously, it's going to be an ad for Private Music. So it's different artists and projects that they have. That's, pretty common for record labels to do this. Didn't really see this a whole lot in the 80s, but at least not with the albums I had. But it's cool that they did that because you know what? They have great artists. And the nice thing is, too, is that while this is an album insert, it actually does not contain the album. This one does, which is plain. But what's nice about this is that this stays in shape without the album ripping through it eventually. So I kind of like that they included that as a separate thing, although they didn't have to do it as a sleeve. They could have just done it as a card, but maybe they just had tons of those things sitting around and they're like, we need to do something with all these. Because at this point, vinyl was something that was kind of going out of fashion. So they very well could have just had a ton of these extra things and said, well, let's print some advertisements on it. Let's sell out our stock and prepare for this new world of CDs that we're getting into. Very possible. But anyway, so we've got some great artists on this one. I have to say, this is in excellent condition. Little, couple of scratches and bends on the cover, not or on the cardboard here, but not a huge deal. Actually, it's like there's really no album wear or ring wear, very little shelf wear. So really good condition to be in. And again, like I said, this one comes from Spain. So, but it's all written in English, which is good for me. So we open with Patrick O'Hearn, my favorite New Age artist, with Homeward Bound, an excellent song. It's just got such a great tempo to it and a great feel. It's one that when it's done, I'm like, I want to hear that again. Then we move to Andy Summers, the guitar player for the Police, with a piece called A Piece of Time, which, as I recall, was a great song. Third up, we've got Tangerine Dream and a song called Marrakesh. I don't recall this track off the top of my head, but I will say my music has been compared many times to Tangerine Dream. So I'm a big fan of that. I do recall liking the track. I just don't remember it off the top of my head. Then we have David Van Tieghem, Tieghem, and a song called A Wing and a Prayer. Then we go back to another Patrick O'Hearn. This one, Reunion, an excellent song. Then we move to Yanni. And I've got to get more Yanni stuff because the stuff I've heard from him through these samplers I've really liked. I tend to, like, when people get really popular or whatever, I tend to kind of maybe not like them as much, even though some of my favorite bands are popular. But, like, I don't know, with some artists where I'm like, I maybe it's a discovery thing, like I feel like I found you or something, I don't know. But I tend to, like, okay, you hit it big and now you've got all this money behind you and whatever. I don't know, it's a weird psychological thing, but I really like the stuff I've heard, so I need to check out more of his stuff. Then we open side 2 with Yanni. This is Keys to Imagination, which I do know, and that is an excellent song. We go to Suzanne Ciani, Suzanne and her song Neverland. Can't recall the details of that. I just remember that I did like it. Then, interestingly, who I think of more of a Middle Eastern as opposed to a New Age artist, we have Ravi Shankar, not related to Michael Schenker, completely different spelling, and his song Pararamba? I don't know. It's pronounced something. And but that was a good track. That surprised me. I didn't realize he was as versatile as that. I just immediately think Ravi Shankar, sitar music, Middle Eastern kind of stuff. But I really need to open my mind to some of these things. Track 4 is Jerry Goodman. Covered him. I've got I think all of his solo albums. Tears of Joy, excellent song. We move to Michael Colina, which is a new artist for me, and his song Joy Dancing. I'm trying to remember that one. I think that one was pretty energetic, but I'm not positive. Like I said, I've only heard this a couple times. Then we go to, this is really interesting because track number 6 is Eddie Jobson, whose birthday is today. Happy birthday, Eddie. And his song Theme of Secrets, which was also on the first Private Music sampler. So it's interesting that they put this back on here. The 2 tracks we get from Patrick O'Hearn were different tracks from the ones that we had on the first sampler. So interesting that they brought back Theme of Secrets. It's a fantastic song. That whole album is amazing, and I'm so bummed that second album never came out. And then we end with Leo Kottke, or Kottke, Kottke, and his song Times 12, which I was kind of back and forth on how much I like the song of his. It's on the first sampler. It's one that kind of takes me out of the kind of stuff I want to listen to, but this brought me back. And I'm like, all right, I got to check out more of his stuff too. And this is what compilation albums are all about. It's not about selling the compilation as much as it is kind of getting you to go, hey, there's this artist that you might like, and this other artist, and this artist, and buy their catalog. So it's really about turning you on to all these other artists. Of course, they want to make their money back on the compilation, and they're excellent to buy because you get to dig into some of these people. And on vinyl, you couldn't just go to YouTube and download these things, or even just listen to the YouTube music video. You had to somehow get this stuff in your hands. And really grateful that they put these out. I think I found a lot of great artists through the first and second one. I have to dig into these artists on the third one yet. But, obviously, like I said, Patrick O'Hearn, huge influence on me as a new age artist. Yanni, Jerry Goodman becoming one of my favorites very easily. I'm really glad I got his stuff. And check it out, guys. Some Music is private. You will not imagine the album that I'm going to cover tomorrow. It's something completely different, and a very old album that I actually found sealed, which I was shocked at for only a few dollars. So I'll be excited to bring you that one tomorrow. In the meantime, you guys have a fantastic day, and we'll see you in the next one. Cheers.